Hey everyone, it's Wowous. We're here today with a Ragnaros build guide tutorial. We're going to play a game here, see how it goes, and I'm going to talk to you about my build for Ragnaros. I want to address something off the top here, which is I've always used HOTUS logs to look at data and analytics. I'm a very numbers-oriented player of really any game, but Heroes of the Storm especially. I would really like to see which talents and whatnot do the best statistically. But HOTUS logs has really basically bit it in the last couple of weeks, and the data no longer is getting inputted correctly. It's basically become unusable. So I'm going to have to go a little bit off of my personal preferences more than analytics, because I just don't have the analytics available to me. But if you all are using some different site, I'd love to hear it. But I know HOTUS logs for a long time was really the site for all this data. It's where I've uploaded a lot of my replays to include that data from my games as well, but it just isn't working. So anyway, you see here we're going to be playing Altric Pass. We're on the right here. We've got a little team up there of Val and Lucio, who are a group. This is a quick match, by the way. We've got Hanzo, we've got Cal, and so the five of us. Overall, pretty weak. Lucio's a pretty good healer, though. Hopefully he can keep us all kind of going. The other team, not much better shape. Lily, Tracer, Murky, Zagara, and Sergeant Hammer. Sergeant Hammer, I think, will be the key to this matchup. If we can keep Sergeant Hammer really at bay between Cal and Vala and myself, and even Hanzo, I think we will be okay. But if Sergeant Hammer really gets going on us, we're going to be in deep trouble in terms of this. Now, if you're new to the game, this really is intended for newer players, someone who's maybe trying to figure out how to play Ragnaros, what the best way to play him is, and all of that. Ragnaros is a very strong hero. He has extremely strong wave clear, both independently and with his ultimate or his heroic that you're going to see at level 10. I'm likely going to take the lava wave there that will clear waves. He's got an awesome D where he can basically jump into either one of your own forts or keeps, or if you've knocked down an enemy fort and keep, you can jump into that for a limited period of time, or until you take a certain amount of damage. His Q is just he basically creates a area of attack that will hit everybody. And apologies for the long wait time here. We're all waiting on Murky. I'm sure he'll disconnect and then reconnect as soon as the game gets going. But his Q basically turns his auto attack into a area of attack. His W is a meteor that you have, it's vector controlled, so you can select the direction that it goes. And your E is going to be your blast wave that basically shoots out from around you. It does damage in an area around you. And we're really going to use that build today. So we're going to be really trying to power up that E to make it very, very powerful. And overall, I've tried a few different builds with Ragnaros, especially over the last couple of months. I'm very close to level 15 with Ragnaros, so I've played him quite a bit over the last couple of months, and I find that this E build is generally the strongest in terms of that. So that's what we're going to show you here today, if the game ever loads. But we're hopefully going to jump right in, and hopefully this will be an interesting matchup, and I can give you some tips and tricks. Here we are, finally. All right, so let's jump right in and see what we can do here. So at level 1, let's talk really quickly about these options. So first, Hungers here is a quest. And basically, this I think is a decent option. Basically, every time you kill a minion, it increases its damage. It makes your Q really powerful over time. And the W here, I don't love this one as much. I find it's a little bit more difficult. You're not going to hit a ton of heroes early on with this. The E is not the quest. It's actually the only one that's not a quest, but you see here it increases your blast wave's damage and its radius, so it basically will make it much more powerful. And you'll see that's basically the way we're going to go for most of the game, is to build up this E, this blast wave. So we'll kind of show you these as we get going here. In terms of things to watch out for, as I said, Sergeant Hammer, we need to find them very quickly. Make sure that they're not on some other lane. I'm just going to push it down, and I'm going to keep my eye out for that as we get going here. We're going to try to push this lane back really quickly. And you see that's your Q there, where you just do that area of effect damage. Your E can also be cast on other folks. We've got Murky top, and we've got Zagara bottom. So I'm going to rotate up top here and see if I can't push back this Murky just a bit. And you're going to use this to very quickly wave clear here. Both your Q, your W, and your E all can be used very effectively against minions. So there's really no reason that you shouldn't lead the game in terms of siege damage, especially by the end of it. Ragnaros, in my opinion, probably has the highest siege damage out of any of the heroes. So if you ever have like a quest, or if you need to do the get this much siege damage, which is, I know right now, one of the things in the mech quest thing that's going on. I hit this twice to just make sure he doesn't do that. You always want to do that against Murky, is keep hitting his little thing there twice so that he doesn't wipe out your entire wave of minions. It'll keep him quite frustrated if you can do that, because you can essentially outpush him. Now Tracer's coming up top here to give a little bit more push. We're going to try to get, again, this thing in the middle, back up here, get Tracer, drop that on top of Tracer, and a nice kill there. And again, you want to be thoughtful about when you use your W, we won't be able to kill that quickly enough. You want to use your W, you really want to aim it for whatever direction they're going. You can use it both offensively and defensively, right? So offensively, when you're going that way, right, you can use it that way, or you can use it defensively. If you're rushing back and retreating, you can use your W like that and have it essentially follow you. And that will a lot of times cause them to not follow you because they don't want to take all that damage. We should be able to take that out. Now here we're going to take slow burn, of course, because this again is going to now make this E slow, and we haven't really used our E too much this game, but that's okay. We'll use it more once we get into some of these team fights. But you see here, we do a lot of damage with it. We do that slow now, and it's just going to get more and more powerful as the game goes on. We're going to let this push, and we're going to head down to the objective here while Murky pushes top by himself. Unfortunately, 3 of our teammates have died just 8 seconds before the objective launches. Not a good start to an objective at all. You need to be alive for when your objective comes down. We're going to try to push this lane really quickly back. We don't want to jump in there 2v5, right? So, or 2v4 because Murky's still top. You see Sergeant Hammer's there plowing away at all the enemies, so we need to be really cautious about when we jump in here because we can't get too close to him easily, but we can do things like this and drop that on top of him. We'll use this. We'll use our blast wave on top of Tracer here. Slow him down. Now he's retreating, which is good. We should be able to save this, and Lucio should be able to heal us up quite well. A nice kill there on Sergeant Hammer by our team. And we're in pretty good shape here to take this objective. We're going to put 2 of us on it just to make sure that we get it. And now it's just a matter of defending. Alright. Got about 15 seconds. We need to hold them off. Lily shouldn't be able to do it by herself with a whole group of us here. You got to grab these regeneration globes if you're standing right next to them. We're going to just try to keep these folks off long enough for this to go, even if it means dying potentially. And as you see there, again, you got to grab these regeneration globes. That's great. So now here at this level, there isn't an option, as you can see, for blast wave. So instead, we're going to take blistering attacks and makes your auto attack do more damage against enemy heroes occasionally. Now Murky has pushed down both the towers here. He's got top pushed forward a little bit, but we should be able to take these towers, potentially get into some of the enemy area here, and maybe get to the fort. We'll see how much damage we can output here. They have a lot of folks here defending. Drop our meteor on top of them, take out both the towers. We're going to blast wave on top of Sergeant Hammer and take him out. Just try to do as much damage as possible. Take out this row of minions standing here. And if we can, maybe take this out. And I feel like we're going to be able to. We've got pretty good damage going on, and I should be able to stand here and take it. Just drop our meteor on top of it to take it out. And now this gives us the benefit of now we can jump into that. And then up at top here, we're going to rotate top really quickly. You see Hanzo's up here. We actually should be able to get 2 of these, which is great from that first objective. Gonna blast wave. Great. Maybe quickly take down this wave, and then we're gonna need to back here because we're very low on mana. Well, not super low, about 200, but you know, this is a good time to reset, to grab that mana and fill back up so that you're back close to top, because we know another objective is coming, probably in another minute. So yeah, you see here it's coming up top. Murky's heading up this way. He's trying to push this lane back. They've got their they've already grabbed the camp here. So we're just going to do a little bit of damage. You know, we're not going to be able to stop Sergeant Hammer by himself, but we're going to grab Lava Wave here. Now, Sulphurous Smash is a pretty good damage and small stun in an area, but Lava Wave is really the way to go with Ragnaros. It causes a huge wave that will set off in just a moment to push one of the lanes back, and so you want to be really thoughtful about what you do with this. But I'm going to push down here bottom because this lane's pushed all the way up against to keep, and it will really push it down. Now you see here, if you haven't really paid attention to this, which a lot of new players haven't, the minions spawn at the base every 30 seconds, so it's every 00 and 30 on the clock. So you want to launch your wave so that it clears, you know, so I launched that right before 7 minutes. And that way it clears the recently spawned one. If you launch it, say, at like 45, you may just catch it as it spawns. I forget exactly how many seconds it takes to get to the enemy camp, but you don't want to launch it at sort of an awkward time where you're not going to catch like a new wave. You always want to wait a couple of seconds, as long as it makes sense to do that. You know, and you're not like in the middle of a team fight that you need it at or something. But if you're just doing it to push back a lane, you want to do that. Ooh, that's not great. They grabbed one of the bosses down bottom. You want to do that at a good timing, at a good point in time. So now we should be able to take these folks out pretty easily. Let's see how quickly we can do this. We're going to let our team defend bottom. We just got Lily here, who we should be able to... Oh, nope, now there's more of them. There's the rest of the enemy team. So we take a death there. We were a little bit too deep, and I thought there were more of them bottom, but I must not have had good sight on the mini-map with that boss down at the bottom. So now here we're going to just kind of watch what happens, what plays out. While we respawn, we get about 10 seconds. Nice play by Lucio to stick on this Lily. And now should be able to take out Murky. And then you saw Tracer there is very, very low on health. We've got about 9 seconds until our Blast Wave comes back up, our Lava Wave. So I think we're going to use it mid here because there's a lot of enemies here mid. And that will just give us the opportunity to really push this down. Now you'll see it basically insta kills all of the minions. It does not kill these mercenaries instantaneously, so you gotta be really careful with that. In the meantime, our team is just decimating up here, which is great. So what I'm going to do is actually rotate up here because I think they've got that camp down pretty solid, and try to take this out while they're working on that. Now Ragnaros can take camps pretty decently. You see here he's just got a lot of health, a lot of damage. Just like you can take out minion waves very quickly, you can do a lot of the siege damage right on top of these all. And we're going to take this out right there. And then just another attack that we have, another wave push that we've got. We get about 60 seconds until my heroic's back up. It's a 120-second cooldown, which is a very long cooldown. That's 2 minutes for that cooldown. Drop our meteor right on top of him. And then we're going to see kind of what they do with these waves. Now you can also cast your E on minions, but I don't generally recommend it. But sometimes if you need to get, maybe you have somebody that's like really close, or a minion that's really close to enemy heroes, you can actually drop your E right onto them if you want. But I find it's more effective to use on yourself in general. We're going to push this pretty quickly here. And if we win here, I don't know if we'll win here, but we're pretty close. At level 16, you want to take Blast Echo. That will give you the second wave. So you basically get 2 E's. So you use the E, and then after it casts again. I don't know what this Murky's up to. And then at level 20, I always take the second Lava Surge, because then you can use 2 of them. Just be thoughtful about when you're using them. You want to usually save them up to use at the same time, as opposed to using one every 120 seconds, because essentially if you consistently have one that you're using, you basically lose the advantage of having 2. And that's what a lot of people don't realize, is that if you cast the 2 right away, right, and then you cast one every time it comes up, you're always going to have just 1. So you really need to be thoughtful, and you basically want to use that to store up 2 and then cast 2 at the same time, preferably on 2 separate lanes, but it can be very, very helpful to do that. And again, we're going to be able to push this, I think, pretty quickly. Take out Murky. We're going to push this lane. You know, Sergeant Hammer's trying to push this mid lane, but isn't going to be very successful. And you see here, so the Blast Echo, right, now it casts a second time. And again, where it does, I have all my upgrades on that, basically. It's going to do a lot of damage. We're going to push the mid lane, though, because you see they're all just chilling here, so we'll let them eat my Lava Wave. And we're going to just blast again, and this should take him out. So all in all, Ragnaros, as you can see, very, very strong. We had that 1 death when we were out of position, 3 kills. We had a ton of siege damage, we took a lot of damage. We had great XP. Not a ton of hero damage, but that's pretty normal. But we got a couple of those kills with our meteor, which was really where you're going to see probably those kills, unless you catch some folks in the lava wave, which I think is less common. You see here, a lot of times you're going to end up with Siege Master with Ragnaros. So hopefully you found this helpful. If you enjoy Heroes of the Storm content, definitely consider subscribing to my channel. Leave a like, leave a comment if there's something that you think, or if you have thoughts, or as I mentioned at the beginning, if you have any ideas of sites that maybe have some good analytics around Heroes of the Storm that aren't HOTAS logs, definitely leave that in the comments below. Thanks so much for watching.